Hello everyone, good morning.
Hi,
Good morning.
kids.
Good
Good
morning.
morning.
Good morning,
Good
everyone.
morning.
Good morning, all.
Okay, I think we can get started. It's 7:04 already. So let me share my screen. You guys can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Close this. Okay. So let's see what questions we need to discuss from the assignment, right? I know we want to discuss this one. Any other question we want to discuss apart from the fifth one?
I want to discuss eighth one. I mean, I have the answer, but I have a question on that.
Okay. Anything else? Seventh one was easy, right? No issues.
Fourth one also.
I have a question on seventh as well, Ankit, but I'm able to solve it, but I have a question on the execution order.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay, so let's start with the fourth one. Okay. Write a query to find subcategories where average profit is more than half of the maximum profit in the subcategory. So we can simply do a group by on subcategory, right? So we are saying give me subcategories where average profit is more than the half of the max profit in that subcategory, right? So I can just say group by subcategory where average profit. So I have to use having because I am doing a filter on aggregated value. Average profit is greater than the half of the max profit, right? So I can just say half of the max profit. That's it, right? So I need all the subcategories where average of profit is greater than half of the max profit.
I got 0 brackets for this, Ankit.
That's fine.
Okay.
Yeah, same also. I got 0, but that's why I asked this.
That's fine. Not necessarily you will get output, right?
And I have done like 0.5 into profit. That is also correct, right?
Yeah, that is also fine.
Yes.
Same thing. Yeah. Okay. Next one is 7th, right? Write a query to find top 5 subcategories in West region by total quantity sold. Okay. So first of all, we are saying West region. So we have to filter on region, right? Where region equal to, do we have in caps or small? West region, where is region? Okay, West. Okay. So write a query to find top 5 subcategories in West region by total quantity sold. So first of all, we have to filter on West region, then we have to get total quantity sold, right?
Yeah.
And then we have to just do sort on this and take top 5, right?
Mhm.
So subcategories and sum of quantities. Okay, this we need. That's it, right? Then order by total quantity descending, and we need top 5, right? That's it.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
my question is on execution. Is like the select getting executed before order? I mean, from it, like I can say because you are able to use total quantity, which is an
Right.
alien.
Right. Top 5 is at the end.
Okay.
So we have from, where, group by, then select, order by, and then at the end top.
Let's say if we have having after group by, and in that case, how will the
Then
execute?
having will run first. So let's say having max of profit, something I'm putting just randomly. So after group by, having will run and then select will run.
And I have another question, Ankit, right? When group by is happening, right? Basically, aggregation is happening, right?
Right.
So when at the time of like aggregation, isn't this the point when this like some quantity should be getting executed?
So what is happening is when you are doing grouping, so all the data is getting grouped into one, right? So basically group by and having is kind of running together in the background if you see. So what will happen? It will group on this, right? But at the same time, it is going to put this filter and get you sum of quantity as well.
you know where I'm getting confused, right? For me, when aggregation is happening, I'm assuming, right, data is getting aggregated at a subcategory level, and at the same time, we are
Right.
calculating the sum quantity field, right? So my thing is, right, because group by is getting executed before having, so should not we be able to use total quantity with having, right, instead of writing max profit greater than 5?
Mhm.
If you write like total quantity greater than 5 here, you won't be able to use it, right?
Yeah, that won't work. That won't work.
Yeah, so this is where I'm getting confused, right? What exactly is happening with aggregation at group by then?
So you can just imagine it as this is running together. It is grouping on this, filtering
Okay.
this, right? At the same time, it is getting all the columns which are required for aggregation. Because just after this, select is running, right?
Okay. Yeah. Okay. For now, I'll go with it. Still slightly confusing for me, but
Yeah. But you know what? Don't be too much confused when select is running, right? The important thing is between these operators, what is running first. So you should not get confused that between where, group by, having, order by, which is running first, right?
Mhm.
So you should have this clarity, what is running, and after that we know that this will be running and then order by. Main confusion comes when you don't know where is running first, or group by is running first, or having is running first, right?
Okay.
So that should be clear in your mind.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
Okay. Oh, next one is fifth one. Anything else? Last one also you want to discuss? Okay. Write a query to find total sales for each region and ship mode combination for orders in year 2020. So here we just have to filter on 2020 and get the total sales grouping on region and ship mode both, right? That is it. So what is the doubt here?
So on this one, right, I was using in where condition, I was using like operator. Okay. And
No,
when
on date, don't use like operator. You can just filter by date, right? From 1st January 2020 to 31st December 2020.
yeah, I mean, I was just trying it, right? When I'm doing where order date, like then 2020 and then percentage, it's not working. But when I change the data type of order date to date, I'm using cast, then it is working. So I was wondering why it is not working like when it's date timestamp.
So actually, like operator is for strings only. In many of the databases, it will not even work for date and integer at all. Okay. So you should be ideally using like operator only with strings.
Got it.
Because performance wise also it will not be good. If you have some date or you want to filter on some date or integer, better use exact things, right? Between or equal to, less than equal to. That will be much faster. Like operator is slow.
Got it.
Okay. Okay, we'll jump on to this question, fifth question.
Ankit,
Yeah.
we can filter only that year column, right? With the help of that inbuilt function is there for that.
Yeah, we can do that. We can do that.
Yeah.
But because we have not discussed, so we have to put
Yeah, sure. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to this one. So, were you guys able to solve this question? The exams one?
Yes, I have done that.
Okay. So let's see. We'll discuss a couple of approaches. Okay. So let's read the question first. So we are saying write a query to find students who have got same marks in physics and chemistry. Okay. So looking at the question, you have to pick the keywords that same marks in physics and chemistry, which means straight away, I am interested only in physics and chemistry. I am not interested in any other subjects, right? Maths or biology or whatever. You can have many subjects. Straight away, you can put a filter where subject in chemistry and physics, right? You don't have to think twice on this because you are interested only in physics and chemistry. Question asks about physics and chemistry. I will straight away put a where condition, right? So whatever filters you can put in a query in where clause, you should straight away put it for better performance, right? Without this also you can solve the query, but it's better to put filters, whatever you can put in where clause, so that your data set will reduce. So here we have less number of rows, but let's say we have millions of rows, and the moment you put this filter, the data set will be reduced. So everything else will run fast, whatever else we do in the query. Okay. Okay, so we have these students now. So we have to find students who have got same marks in physics and chemistry. So now we have only physics and chemistry, right? So we have only student ID 1, right? So this ID has 91, 91. This guy has 80, 90. This guy has given only 1. Chemistry, physics is not there. Again, different marks. Again, only chemistry. Okay. Now what I can do? So definitely one thing is I need to group on student ID, right? Because for the same student, I want to check marks are same or not, right? So I can say group by student ID. Okay. Now the moment I do a group by on student ID, let's do couple of things. So I will just take student ID here. Okay. And I will take count star. How many records are there, right? Second, I can check count of distinct marks. This also I can check, right? How many distinct marks are there? How many records are there, right? And let's run this. Okay, so this is my total records. Total records. Okay, so if you see for student ID 1, total records are 2, right? So we should have 2 records. After filtering on chemistry and physics, we should have 2 records, right? This is our first condition. So I can say that total record count should be 2, right? So first condition I can put having count star equal to 2, right? This is the first condition I can put, because if there is only 1 record, it means this guy has either given only chemistry or physics, not both, right? So this is the first condition I can put. Now another condition is marks should be same. If the marks are same, then distinct marks will be 1, right? If you see all these guys has 2 because they have distinct marks 2, and these guys have given only 1 exam, right? So anyway it will be 1. So the total record should be 2, but the distinct marks should be 1. So I can say and count of distinct marks equal to 1, right? So if I do this, I get a student ID 1, right? So this is one approach. Any doubt in this? This is only working because I have put this where filter. If I don't put this where filter, you can have maths also, right? And still it will, some students may qualify, which will be wrong. Since I have put this filter, it becomes easy for me to get total count and the distinct marks. Is it okay?
Yes.
Okay. Let's look at one more approach. Let's start from marks. Again, I'm going to put this filter straight away. Exam, sorry. Okay, so second approach is, now we know that there will be only maximum 2 subjects for any student, right? So what I can do, when I group on student ID and marks, right? If I group on student ID and marks, the candidate which has same marks in both the subjects will have 2 records for that student ID and marks combination. So if I do this, student underscore ID, comma marks, group by this, count 1 or count star, anything is fine. As total rows. So if you let me do order by here also, order by student. Okay, so if you see, only this guy has got total rows 2, because this guy student ID 1 and he has same marks, so those two rows will be grouped together. For anyone else, if you see, none of the rows are grouping together because the marks are different. So this is a different group and this is a different group, right? Similarly, 3 has only one exam, this guy also, but for 4 also, if you see, marks are different, which means they will be separate groups. So only for 1, because in both of the subjects the marks are same, so 191 is becoming one group and total rows are 2, right? So I can just simply say group by student ID marks having count 1 or count star equal to 2, right? So this will also give me the desired result.
Ankit,
Yeah,
in the above query, can you also write? I'm just wondering, having count of star equal to 2. Sorry, having count of star greater than count of distinct marks. Greater than count of distinct marks. Can we do that as well?
greater than count of distinct marks.
Correct. So wherever my count of star is greater than distinct marks, please display me that, right? So this should also work, I believe. Can you?
I'm just thinking if there is any other.
Yeah, even yes,
Thing.
it's correct.
So I'm saying count of a star is greater than distinct marks. So there will be 2 records and distinct marks will be 1. Should be fine, I guess. Count star is 1 and it is also 1, it won't work. 3 records. In this case, it should work, but just imagine if you have a question like if you have to check there are 3 subjects, let's say. Okay, I'm just thinking in terms of generic solution, right?
Okay.
If I'm saying the guy should have same marks in all 3 subjects,
Okay.
then it will not work, right? Because it can be 2 also distinct marks. In this case, it will work. Yeah.
The count star will also increase by 3, right?
Yeah, but 2 will also come in that case, right? In the output.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, but in this case, it will work definitely.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. So whenever you are writing queries, try to write more generic so that, you know, in case you have more subjects or something, right? It should work. But that it is also fine. Absolutely fine for this question.
Okay. Thanks.
Okay. Any doubts in the 2 approaches? Okay. No doubts. Then good. Any doubts from the previous class about having group by? No, right? Okay.
Hi, Ankit. So
Yeah.
I have one doubt. Okay, I just sent you something on chat box. It's a
Mhm.
simple use case. Yeah, if you can paste it on the SSMS.
Okay, 1 second. Okay.
So if you see first query, right? Where I'm just doing the count of customer IDs by status, there I'm getting active, inactive, null. Okay, so we are having 159 records for null.
Right.
Okay. In the second query, what I'm doing, I'm just excluding inactive. Okay.
Okay.
So I was expecting active or null records, but null is not coming in the output. Like 159 count.
Yeah, why you are expecting null?
Because I'm just excluding inactive, right? Status is not equal to inactive. I'm not touching anything else here.
Yeah, but null is not comparable to anything, right?
Yeah,
If
but
I
I'm
say,
not.
if I say, so you are saying status not equal to inactive,
Correct.
right? So you are saying null not equal to inactive for this row, right?
I see. Okay. So in this case, I need to explicitly specify where or
Is null.
status is equal to. Okay.
Yes. Because
Okay.
again, null cannot be comparable. It is not
I
equal
see
to
it. Yeah, I
inactive,
got it. Yeah.
and it is not equal to inactive. So both are wrong statement. You have to say or status is null. Okay. Then it will work.
Okay, got it. Yeah, thanks again.
One quick question. Say we are not using, non-aggregation column in select statement and then grouping behalf of non-aggregation column. So is it possible? Like select and one column like marks, and then we are not providing any non-aggregation column, right? And then we are using that in group by. Is it possible?
Yeah. That day I told you, right, that it will give you distinct value. So let's do this. Select student ID from exams, group by student ID. That's it, right?
No, any other column as well from the table, like marks.
Marks.
No, not in select statement, in group by without select.
That will work. So it will group on student ID marks and only will give you student ID, right? So if you see, student ID is repeating because you have the marks also along with that.
Okay.
Okay.
But I saw this like in sometimes, sometimes when it was throwing an error that non-aggregation column is not there in select statements.
Yeah, that is the reverse of it. Reverse means you are taking this in the here,
Okay, and not taking here.
not taking here, then it will give error. Right? Because for one student ID, there are multiple marks. Right?
Okay.
So how database will give you what rows you should get? Because for each student ID, you should have only one record in the output. But there can be different marks. So database will get confused what to give here. He cannot give you multiple duplicate values of student ID because you are grouping only on student ID.
Okay. Yeah. It means that from the table we can use any many columns in group by, but we
Yes.
can select one as well, right? And we need to group at least from that particular column we are selecting.
Yes. So whatever is in group by, only those columns you can put in select.
Okay. Yeah.
All
okay.
aggregated functions.
Yes. Makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. Okay. So now, so far we have been talking about only a single table, right? So whatever we have discussed, orders table or marks table, exams table, we have been talking about only one table. But in reality, all the data will not be in one table, right? You will have multiple tables, right? So to read data together from multiple tables, we have a concept of joins. Okay, database joins. Okay, in database joins, what we can do? We can join the data together based on some key. Okay, and see the data of two tables together in one output. Okay, so let's try it. So let me take this Returns table is not there. Okay, let me open this one. Superstore. Okay, so let me remove this. Okay, so this is our sample superstore data, right? We have been talking about from last 4 or 5 days. Now, out of all these orders, right? Out of all these orders, some of the orders may get returned, right? Like you buy something from Amazon and you later return it. So we have the returns data as well. So these are the orders which have been returned. Okay. And along with the order ID, we have the return reason as well. So this order has been returned because we had the wrong items in that, right? So when you return the item, you will get on Amazon app, right? What is the return reason? So you have that return reason as well, that bad quality, wrong items, others. So we have 3 return reasons in this data set. Okay. Now I want to do analysis on my return data, that how much sales I lost because of the returns, how much in each category I got returned, right? So these two data sets are separate, right? So there should be some mechanism that I can get data here, right? So let's say I'm creating one more column here. If I can get the return reason here, right, then I can, let's say, wrong item, right, or whatever. Then I can do analysis. Okay, this item was returned because of this reason and this much sales I lost, and then I can do aggregation and everything, right? So there should be some mechanism to bring these two data together. Now if you are from Excel background, this you can do in Excel using VLOOKUP, right? So let me do it quickly. So in VLOOKUP, I want to do a lookup of order ID and I need to give the table array. So let me select this. And from this, I want second column. I want return reason and I want exact match. Right? So wherever order is not returned, you will get NA, and wherever it is returned, you will get the return reason, right? Bad quality or whatever. So in Excel, you are doing VLOOKUP, and in SQL, we will be doing this using joins. Okay. So now I need to import return data. Okay. Now one more thing we can see here, I have another database master, right? In that I have this returns table. Now let's see, can I copy this table from master data set to Namaste SQL, right? So I will say select star from, okay, select star into Namaste SQL dot TPO dot returns. Not sure if it will work. Let's see. In the database. Okay. Okay. So have we discussed this into so far? In the first class, I think we discussed, right? This into clause.
No.
No.
Okay,
No.
I'll talk about it later. For now, I have just created this table in our Namaste SQL database. Okay, so okay, so we have this return table now here, and it has all the order ID and return reason. So we have a total of 296 orders returned. Okay, and we have the orders table. Normal, right? So now I want to join this data together. So just look at here carefully. So what I will do, I will say select star from orders, right? And then I will say inner join Inner join is a new keyword we are learning today. I want to join orders table with returns table, right? After that, I have to put on, and on I have to give that on what basis you want to join them together. So in our case, what is that column? I want to join on order ID because order ID is the common column. By joining on order ID only, I can get the return reason, right? So I will say inner join returns on orders. Okay, let me give some alias. I will tell you what I am doing here. I will say O dot order ID equal to R dot order underscore ID, right? And what I'm going to do here, I will say O dot order ID comma R dot return reason. Okay, let me run this. Invalid column order ID. Why so?
I think order O is in caps.
No, the last order ID, R dot order ID is not the underscore. There should not be underscore and the order ID in the returns.
Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
No, it is there. Okay, it is in caps. Okay.
In the
Okay.
from, there is only one table, orders not return.
No, so inner join I am doing with returns. Okay, the problem is I think that case sensitivity is there for this table because it was created before I executed that, right? So let me just do it and confirm that is the issue, I think. And yeah, now it should work, I think. Okay, so this mismatch has happened. What I will do, I will create a new table here. Create table returns. Let me do one thing.
Is it taking returns as a keyword instead of table name?
No. The problem is that returns table was created earlier when I did not execute that case sensitivity script, right? So it is getting confused between case sensitive and case insensitive.
Okay.
You know, CI is case insensitive and CS is case sensitive, and we are trying to join two tables. One is case insensitive and one is case sensitive. So that is the problem. Okay. So let me refresh this one. And this is my return table. I'm going to rename it for now. Go back up. Okay. And what I will do, I will create a new table here now, returns. It should have order ID, where S20 and return reason again where can be. Okay. And now what I will do, I will insert data in this table from the backup table, right? I hope that works. Insert into returns. Select star from returns underscore backup, right? Yeah, let's see if works now. So if I do select star from returns, okay, and just do order ID here, should work. Yeah, it's working now. Okay. Let me put this create a statement, otherwise it will keep showing me this red, right? If I put a create a statement, it will understand this table is created. So what happens, I created this table, but the database is not refreshed. So I will just put create table returns and select one, just something I'm putting. Okay, ideally it should not give the error now. Okay, it doesn't work like that here. Okay, let me give the syntax itself. Order ID. Okay, all good. Yeah.
Ankit, just to update, like if without that statement also that local needs to be refreshed on SQL. So like Control Shift R you can press so that it will refresh automatically.
Okay, Control Shift R. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay.
So that is there on the edit menu also. If you click on the edit, there is an option. The last option, intelligence. Second last. Yeah, the refresh local cache is there. Yeah, Control Shift
Okay,
R. Yeah.
got it. Thanks for that. Yeah, now it is giving error that returns is already there. Good.
Yeah.
Great. Okay, so we have now joined them together. So if you see, let me take order date as well so that we can see we have all the columns. Okay.
कारण की तो जरा जो उघडला ना आवाज तो.
Guys, please go on mute. Okay, so we have the order ID, order date, return reason, right? So we have got the return reason. So what I have done here is, if you look at it here, I'm saying order so, and this is like a giving a alias to the table name. So I'm giving a alias to orders table as O. Then I'm saying inner join this table with the returns table. Now for returns table also I'm giving alias R. I'll tell you why this alias is important. Okay. And then on is the keyword. After on we have to tell database that on which column I want to join, right? So I'm saying I want to join on order ID, right? Because that is the only common column we have. So in Excel also we saw when we do lookup, we are doing on order ID here, and the first column will be taken from there. So it is like this. So you have one table, orders table, order ID, right? And let's say sales. And you have second table where you have order ID and return reason, right? So you have order ID 100, 2, 200, right? And you have the order ID 1, 200 here. So what you are trying to do, you are saying join this with this, right? So what will happen? Every record will try to join with this record. So first order ID will come, sorry, order ID is 1. And this will be bad item, let's say. So when I do join, what will happen? This record will try to join with this record. This record also will try to join with this record because I have given order ID as a joining column. So these two records are same. The value is same. So these two records will be joined. Since this 2 and 1 are not equal, these two records will not be joined, right? So I'm joining on order ID. So wherever the value is same, those will be joined together, and this will be joined. The moment it joins, I can bring this to select statement here, right? And I can see bad item. Now 2 is not there, so this is not at all coming in output, right? There are ways to bring it up, but for now, using inner join, we will not see 2 in the output. We will see only 1, right? So let's say we have 3 also here. Order ID. Ideally, it is not possible that it is not there in order table, but it is there in return. But let's assume, right? Again, bad item. So now what will happen? Now we are joining on order ID. So first order ID 1 will try to join with this. Yes, it is joined. So we will have this bad item here. Now order ID 1 will try to join with 3, but it is not there, so it will not come in the output at all. Again, 2 will try to join with 1, so it will not come in the output because it is not getting joined. Again, 2 will try to join with the 3, but it will not come. So this record will not come at all in the output, right? So this is how join works. It will check the exact value in another table. Wherever it is matching, it will give me the output, right? So now I have order ID, order date, as well as the return reason, right? You are seeing 800 rows because for each order ID, we had multiple rows because there were multiple products for each order ID, right? But the total record in returns table are okay. How many are there? 296. So if I do a distinct of order ID here, I should got 296, right? Are you with me here? If I do distinct of order ID, I should
Yes.
get 296, right?
Right.
So we have 296 rows, which means I am getting only the orders which are present in returns table. Now, why I am giving alias is because when I'm joining these two, when I'm giving the join condition, if I don't give this alias, right, database will be confused. It will say order ID is ambiguous column. Why? Because order ID is present in order table as well as return table. So database doesn't know you are referring to which order ID, right? Here also, if I remove this, it will give me error. Again, it is confused, ambiguous column order ID, right? Database doesn't know from which table you want to get, because in select, we can get columns from this table as well as this tables because we have joined them together, right? So if I don't give alias, database will be confused. One way of doing is just give the table name dot column name. So I can say orders dot order ID, returns dot order ID, right? Similarly, I can give here returns dot order ID or orders dot order ID. This will also work. But sometimes the table names are long, so it doesn't look good. You have many columns every time you are giving column name, and it will become very big query. So it is a good practice to give some sensible aliases and use that. O dot, R dot, again O dot, right? So that is why this alias is very important. Now here you can select many columns from all the tables, right? So instead of saying, if you want to select all the columns only from orders table, right? So if you do just select star, what will happen? All the columns will come, all the columns from orders as well as all the columns from returns. So let me run this. So if you see, all the columns are coming, and in the end, 2 more columns are coming from the return table. Order ID, return reason, both are coming, right? So if you do star, everything will come. Now, if you want to see only the columns from this table, you can say O dot star. Again, I'm using a alias that give me all the columns from orders table, O dot star. Now I will get only these many columns, right? Again, if you want only from the returns table, just the R dot star, and you will get all the columns from return table, right? Now you are saying that in both the tables, order ID is repeating. So I want all the columns from this, and from the return table, I want only R dot return reason. I don't want order ID from return table. So you can say O dot star, comma, R dot return reason. So you will get that many, right? Now I'm going to remove this. Tell me, will it work?
Yes.
Yes, it will work.
Yes, it will work. Why? Because return reason column is not present in both tables. Return reason column is present only in returns table. So database is not getting confused that should I take from orders table or returns table, right? If there is any column which is present in both the table, then database will say it is an ambiguous column, right? So if I take order ID, then database will be confused, ambiguous column, right? But it is always a good practice to give aliases to all the columns irrespective of they are ambiguous or not. Why? Because looking at this query, right, if I just run looking at this query, you don't know that return reason is coming from which table, right? When you have big queries or many columns in the select clause, it becomes very confusing that which column is coming from which table. So whenever you are doing join and you have multiple tables, always use the alias. So whoever, or maybe later you are checking the query, you know, okay, this column is coming from orders table and this column is coming from returns table, right? If you don't put alias, it is a mystery. You will have to check manually, okay, this column is coming from which table, right? So always remember, put the aliases when you are using multiple tables in your query. Okay, are we good till here? Any doubt about this syntax? What we are doing? What is inner join? What is on? Are we good?
Yeah, I'm good, Ankit, but I have one question here. Like there's two tables, we just like dump it the data from the Excel, and we think that okay, there is a relationship between this table between the order ID, but logically we are not defining any kind of primary key foreign key relationship. So is this a good practice to do the inner join like that, or to define the relationship at the table level, then we'll do joins?
So there is no restriction as such. You can do join on anything. See, it is good to define relationship, but not necessarily always relationship will be defined in your database, right?
Okay. Okay.
Right. And especially if you go to these analytical databases like Redshift and SAP HANA, right?
Right.
There it is like it is not forced. All these relationships are not forced, right?
Okay.
It is absolutely fine to join tables even if relationship is not defined. But ideally, in the real world, you will have primary keys and all, and on that only you will be joining most of the times. But you can join on non-primary keys as well. There is no problem.
Right. I got it.
Yeah. Okay. So this is about inner join. Now you may say, yeah.
What if we have duplicate records on two tables while inner joining?
Yeah, I will come to that. Very important question. So currently we have duplicates only on the orders table and not on the returns, right? So how many orders are there? So for example, for this order ID, there are 3 records because we will have multiple product ID, right? O dot product underscore ID. So let's run this. So if you see, there are 3 records for this order ID in our orders table. So we are getting 3 only, right? But the return reason will be same because there is only 1 record, right? But there can be cases when in this table also we have multiple records, and we will come to that later. Okay. But for now, just focus on this one, that we don't have many to many relationship. It is like many to one or one to many only, or one to one, right? So now I'll come to that, don't worry. Okay. So now you may say that, okay, I want something like Excel, right? I want to see all the orders. Wherever return reason is there, good. If return reason is not there, put some NA or something, right? So for that, we have the left join. So I just change inner to left. Everything else will be same, right? If I do that, now if you see, I'm getting 999 rows, same as number of records in my orders table, right? And the return reason is null wherever there is no match, right? In fact, if I take order ID also from r dot order ID as return for order ID. So if you see, everything is null because for this order, there is no matching record in returns table. So I don't have data for that. So everything will be null. Right? And wherever it is there, I will get the return reason and the order ID. This is exactly working as the VLOOKUP we saw in the Excel. Wherever it is not there, order is not returned, it is NA here, but in SQL we represent that as null. Right? We have been talking about null. And wherever there is a match, we will get the data. Okay, we will be using a lot these inner joins and left join going forward, and most of the interviews questions are revolving around, you know, inner join, left join, and other kinds of join that we will discuss. Right? So this is the main difference between inner join and left join. If you want everything from the left table, when I say left table, this is the left table. Whatever is there before left join is the left table. So I will get all the records from left table, and whatever matching data presents from right table will be available in the output. And if it is not, then it will be null. Okay. Now tell me, this is a very, very common interview question. Okay. Now tell me, I want all the records which are not present in returns table. What should I do? All the records which are not present in return table. I mean, all the orders which are not present in return table, which have never been returned. So if I inner join, I will get everything which have been returned. But now I want, if I do left join, I will get everything. But now I want only those records, only those orders which have not been returned. How I will get it?
You can apply a where condition null.
Where, yeah,
Return reason null.
return order ID is null.
Yeah, return
Right.
reason.
Right? Which order ID? R dot order ID, right? Is null. Right? So if I say this, I will get all the records where R dot order ID is null. Now here you can use order ID or you can even use return reason. Both works, right? Because both all the columns will be null from this table. So you can use any column from this table to check that, right? Which means this brings to a point that first join is happening and then where clause is happening, right? Now if I come back to the order of execution, we saw always that after from, always where was happening. But now join is happening first and then we are going to where clause. After where, whatever order of execution, that will stay intact, but between from and where we have one more left join. Okay, so if you see, everything will be null. So we are getting only those orders which have never been returned. Right, we had 800 rows from the return and 9194 minus 800. 9994 minus 800, we are getting 9194. Is this okay so far? Any doubts in inner join and left join?
No.
Okay. Now, once we have this data, we can do anything, whatever we wanted to do. So let me remove this for now. Now, let's say I want to do analysis that how much sales I lost from the return orders, right? So I can just do this. So I have everything now. I need, let's say, return reason and sum of sales. as total sales. So once I join together, you should just imagine it as one table, right? Because all the data is together, if you see. And then you can do a group by on a return on the column from the right table or from the left table or the combination of both, right? So I can just do group by r dot return this. What does it mean null? These orders were never returned because I'm doing a left join. So that's why null is also coming. And for this, total sales is this. With the return is in others, this is the total sales. With wrong item, this is the sales. With bad quality, this is the sales, right? If I remove this, what will happen? If I do just inner join, instead of left join, I will not get null. I will get only the orders which have been returned, and for them, whatever the return reason and total sales. I can do everything now. Order by, limit, having, group by, whatever I want to do. Right? So this will bring two tables together. And you can then imagine it as a one table which has all the columns from this table and this table. And then you can do whatever we have been doing so far. Grouping, aggregation, filtering, whatever. Okay. Now, let's look at, so there is a join called cross join. What is that? Okay. So let me introduce one more table now.
Ankit, sorry to disturb you. Deepak here.
Yeah.
Actually, just one question I had. Like when we're talking about inner join, right? Inner join and left join. See, assume I don't mention inner in this query. I just do join. Will that default to left join or inner join?
Inner join, but it default to inner join.
Inner join. Okay. Okay. Thanks then.
Yeah.
And just another thing, Ankit, this returns table you will be providing later, is it? Because I don't think we have this.
Yeah, I will provide the
Sure.
CSV or Excel file. You can import it.
Thanks.
Yeah. Okay. So you can give only join, as Deepak said. It will be considered as inner join, but it is always a good practice to give exact name. Right. Okay. So there are two more tables I want to introduce now. I will give the insert statement and everything for those. So which have less records so that I can explain it easily. Select star from employees and select star from the employee. Okay, so we have two more tables now, employee table and department table. Okay, pretty simple tables. We have employee ID, employee name, department ID, salary, manager ID, and employee age. And we have department table where we have department ID and department name, right? For example, for Ankit, department ID is 100, which means he's working in analytics department. Okay. So we'll work on these tables to understand joins better. Okay. So if I come back to Excel, okay. Now here, I am telling database that join so I have these two tables. I am telling database that join these two tables on order ID, right? Right. So it is trying to join one with one. It is joined and we are getting one in the output. Let's say I don't give any condition. I'm not giving any join condition. I'm just joining these two tables without giving any condition. It is possible. I will show you. Right. But there is no condition. So what will happen? Then in that case, every record will join with every other record. So this will be joined with this, right? This will be joined with this as well. This will be joined with this. This will be joined with this. I am not giving any join condition. So every record will be joined with every other record, right? So if I have one more, let's say order ID 4, bad item. So how many records I will have in the output? For each of these records, there are 6. So number of records in this table, 2 into number of records in other table, 3. So I will get total of 6 records, right? What is the use of it? What is the use case of it? We will see later, but we can do a cross join where we can not specify, we will not specify any join condition. So every record will be joined with every other record, which means let's try to do that. So I have how many records in employee table? I have 10 records, and in department table I have 4 records, right? So total should be 40 records. Let's do it. So I'll say select star from employee. So there are multiple ways of doing a cross join. I can just say select star from employee, comma DEPT. That's it. Okay. So if you give table 1, comma table 2, and you are not giving any condition, it will just return you 40 records. You see. So for against each employee ID, I have all the departments. Right. So if I sort on employee ID, you will see that order by e.em e dot okay, employee dot PID. Okay. You see, each employee is coming against every department. There were 4 departments, right? Because I am not giving any join condition. Okay, so if I am not giving join condition, every record of one table will join with every other record of another table. Right? Another way of doing this is, you can say inner join on 1 equal to 1. So 1 equal to 1 will always be true, right? So if I have to use this syntax, inner join department, I have to give on and I have to give some condition. So this is a workaround to do a cross join. You can just say 1 equal to 1, or you can say anything, 100 equal to 100. So this condition will always be true, right? So each record of one table will be joined with every other record of another table. Again, we are getting 40 records. Is this okay? This is our cross join.
Ankit, can you explain this one more time?
Yeah. So generally what happens when I'm trying to join these 2 tables, right? I want to join on something, particularly some column, right? I want to join on order ID, that wherever order ID is 1 and 1, join them together and get me the return reason. Now here I'm not giving any return join condition at all, right? I'm just joining these 2 tables without any condition, or 1 equal to 1. 1 equal to 1 is always true. So what will happen? By default, database will try to join every row with every other row, right? If you give join condition, then it will stop here. 1, wherever it will go no. 1 and 3 are not equal, so it will not come. 1 and 4 are not equal, it will not come. But if you are not giving any join condition itself, so this will join with everything. This will join with everything. So you will get 6 records.
Got it.
So in cross join, you will get always number of records in one table multiply by number of records in second table. That's why it is called cross join. Okay. Now let's come back to the inner join. So here we are going to join on department ID, right? So we have employee. So now just carefully look at this data. So if you see, we have department ID 100, 200, 300 and 500, right? If you see in department table, we have 100, 200, 300 and 400, which means this 500 is not there at all in this table. And also in this table, 400 is there, but none of the employees there here, right? Of 400. So this is I want to just highlight so that I can show you few more things. Okay. So we have 100, 200, 300, which are present in this table, but 500 is not present, right? Again, 400 is there in this table, but none of the employees there in the department ID 400. Okay. So let's start. Let's do with the inner join. Can you tell me how many number of records will be there if I join on department ID in case of inner join?
9.
Records.
500 won't be there. Department ID.
10 records.
9.
9 records.
9 records. And also, if you see, it is not necessary that column name should be same on which I join, right? Here it is DEPT underscore ID, and here it is DEP underscore ID. So there is no compulsion that column name should be same on both the tables, right? You can have any column name here and any column in here, column name in the second table, and you can just join them. Okay. So we will get 9 records. We will not get this 500 because this guy is not there. Department ID in this table, right? So let's do this quickly. So we have got 9 records, right? Okay, so let me select few columns only. E.emp underscore ID, comma, E.emp underscore name, comma, let's say G dot department ID, and we'll take department name from department table.
So when you did select star, Ankit, all the column names will be available, right, from both the tables?
Right. Yeah. Okay. So if I do star, everything will come. All the columns from first table and then all the columns from second table. That's what I explained before as well. Okay. Okay, now if I do left join, how many records?
10.
10 records.
10
10
records.
records will be there, right? I'll do left and we'll have 10 records. And department name is null now, right? Because this department is not present and we don't know the department name. So it is coming as null. Okay. Now third category or fourth category of join is right join. In right join, it is just a reverse of left join, right? I will get everything from the right table, and whatever information is not present will get null from the employee table. So let's do this. I will do right join. So now you can imagine it as this sentence is same as this. So if I do left and I just change the table names, so I will put department here. Okay, so this is statement and these two statements are same basically. I just swapped the table name. So when I say right join, all the records from right table will come and the matching data will come from employees table, right? This I can achieve by putting department table here and doing a left join on employee table. So in a real world, you never need right join, ideally. You can always swap the table name. So from whichever table you want in a driver table, you can always put in the left table, and then you can do a left join. Okay, but it's there available in the database, we should know. So if you see, this is also coming now. The department ID 500. Let me take department ID here from the department table. D.dep underscore ID, comma. Right, we are getting 400. Now we are not getting the 500 guy, right? Employee ID with department ID 500 was there. It is not coming. Why? Because we are getting only from the right table the data and then getting whatever is present in the employee table. So 500 is not present in the right table, right? In your department table, 500 is not there. And this is your driving table now. So 500 is not there in the output. Is this okay? Confusing?
Okay, Ankit.
So here employee is the right table, right? In the right join when you're doing.
I'm doing this one. So department is the right table, right?
But in case of left join, when we're using left join, you told us that from the table is a left table. Similarly, in the right join, after from the table that you are giving is.
No. I said before left is the left table.
So yeah, so before left is a left table. So similarly, before right should be a right table, is it?
No. Right join means after right. This is a right table.
Okay.
That's why it is left and right. It is left means left to it is the left table and right to it is the right table. So when I'm doing right join, everything will come from the right table.
Oh, okay. Yeah, got it.
Yeah. Okay, I hope this is fine, because if you look at this, 500 is not there. And 500 was present here in the employee table, right? So this is inner join, left join, and right join. Don't get confused between these two. You can solve everything using left join only. You never have to use right join. I've never used in my 12 years of career right join, but you should know it. Someone can ask you in interview, but you can always achieve whatever you want to do with right join. You can always achieve with left join. You just have to swap the tables. And it is easy to understand also. Whenever there is right join, there is a sense of confusion. So it is always good to use just left join. Okay. Now we have
Even
the
if
last.
we have,
Yeah.
Ankit, just a query there. I mean, as I was just thinking maybe louder. Because we have this right join on a multiple join conditions, or if I am making a multiple joins, and I mean, I was just even Googling when you're telling why do we actually have a right join when it doesn't have any purpose. When we make a multiple joins or on a, let's say 3 tables, and if I need everything from the middle table and then the matching records from the outer table, I mean, it's kind of a scenario where I think the right join is the right thing to
No,
do.
so
instead of a
middle
left.
table you can make as the first table, right? Just after from, you can put your middle table. Then other 2 table you can make left join, right?
Yeah. I mean,
yeah.
There might be again that could be achievable on a left join. I'll try to explore on that front if there are particular scenarios. We definitely.
We'll love to know that. Yeah. Okay. Okay, we will see joining more than 2 tables, but for now let's understand all kinds of join. Okay. So we have the last kind of join is full auto join. Full auto join means everything will come from both the tables. So whatever is common in both the table, that will come, plus whatever extra is there in left table, that will also come, and whatever extra is there in the right table, that will also come, right? So I'll just copy this again, and I will say full auto join. That is the only change everywhere that you have to do in the join. Everything else is same, just left join, right join, inner join, and full outer join. Okay. Now look at these tables again and tell me how many records should be there.
11.
Yeah, so what will happen now? Let's try to visualize it a little bit. Okay, so from record 1 to record 9, right? All these records will be joined with this table, right? If I do an inner join. So there will be 9 records. Now, because I'm doing a full auto join, I will get this record as well. But for this, the department name will be null. And from this table also I will get this record because I'm doing a full outer join, but employee details will be missing, right? So if I do this, we will get 11 records. So you see, for the analytics one, department ID, let's take department ID from D. Okay. Actually take from both D dot DEPT, E dot DEPT ID. Okay. And we'll say D department ID. Okay, anyway, the column names are different, so we can understand it. Okay.
Yeah, that is a
Okay. So if you see this record from employee table, right? This doesn't have any department data, but still it is coming. So whenever we would do left join, right, with employee table as left table, this record was coming along with this record, right? So all the records, so inner join is this one. Let's look at all the joins now. So this is the output will be the inner join. If I do inner join, only 9 records will be there, all the matching data. So the department ID is present here as well as here, and that I will get. If I'm doing a left join, employee table being the left table, then I will, along with these 9 records, I will get this also, right? The last record, because I will get all the records from employee table and null for the non-matching data from the right table. If I'm doing a right join, department ID table being the right table, this will be my output, these 10 records. So all the matching records, so matching records will come, right? And then this is only in the department table. And employee data will be null because there is no matching record for department ID 400. Now, since I'm doing a full auto join, everything will come. We have all the matching records, right? Extra records from left table, no data from right table, and again the extra record from right table, but no matching data from employee table. So this is my full auto join. Okay, very important. All four kinds of join, especially you can ignore right if you don't want to, or we will see if we have any use case, right? We'll explore, but I think left join, inner join, and full auto join will be used in many of the questions that we'll be solving in future. Okay, and the combination of joins and group by is a very powerful thing, right? So now I have joined them together. I can check, right, for which department name, how much is the salary, or what is the average salary. Lot of things we can do. We have salary columns and other columns in employee table. Similarly, when we were doing on the orders data, right, after joining we can do a lot of analytics, that which kind of orders are returning, what items are there in the return order, what kind of return reason is there for different kinds of products. Because we have brought all two data sets together, now we can do anything, right? So very important topic, join. And I will be giving you assignment where you will have to use joins and aggregation together. And after this point, a lot of questions we can solve, interview questions, right? So make sure this join is absolutely clear. Okay. Now we can join more than 2 tables. Okay. So let's go to
I
the
have one
inner join.
question.
Sorry?
I have a question. So like, what is the difference between full outer join and union then?
Union is different. Union is different.
Okay, we'll be discussing that later on.
When we learn union, I will tell you.
Okay.
If I tell now, everyone else will get confused, right? Not everyone knows.
Got it.
Okay. It's different, completely different. I know many people get confused. It's completely different.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Now let's say, coming back to the order table. Okay. Let me copy this again. So I will just go back to the Excel. I have one more sheet. Unhide people. Okay. So I have one more table, people, where I have the regional manager and the region. So we have this region column, right? In the orders table, I have the regional manager also. That for this region, who's the regional manager, right? So let me create a table for this as well. Create table, people. Now I'm creating tables in front of you because I want to tell you whenever you are in a doubt, right? Whenever you are thinking, okay, what will happen if it is like this? What will happen if it is like that? You immediately come to database, create a table, create that kind of data, whatever confusion you have in mind, and execute the queries. That will be the best way to clear your concept, right? Not everything you can ask everyone, right? I'm there to answer, but whenever you are in doubt, that is the best way of doing it. Create a table quickly with 2-3 columns, insert data, and try whatever is going on in your mind. And that will absolutely clear your doubts and give you confidence, because you are seeing live what is happening, right? There is no doubt about it. Whatever database is returning is right. So don't be in confusion what will happen. Just do it, right? It is very fast. Now you have access to SQL Server, everything. You just have to quickly create a table, insert 2-3 rows, and try whatever going on in your mind, right? So I will take manager, where 20. And while testing and all, you don't have to create primary key and all. In actual you have to do, but whenever you are doing some R&D or some scenario you want to test, you just create a basic table. You don't have to create everything. Constraints and primary key not required. Insert into people values, and we'll take from here quickly. So we have 4 rows: west, east, central, south. And let's put some name here. You can put Ankit. Deepak. Vishal. Sanjay. Okay, so we have the data ready now. So let's run this quickly. Okay, so we have this data now, and this Control Shift R, right? Okay, cool. So now let's say I have joined these two tables together, right? I have all the data: order ID, product ID, return region. But I also want to know who is the regional manager for this order which is returned, right? So I can do one more join, inner join, right? On people table. People P on. Now I can join with any column from the returns table or any column from the orders table. So when I'm joining this table, the condition I can put on any previous table which I have used. Okay, so I can say people P on P dot region equal to, now region is not there in this table, but I'm just telling you there is no restriction that the join should be on the from table only. Join can be from the any table which is used before this inner join. So for now, reason is there in this table only. So I have to do an O dot reason. Right. And I will take P dot manager. And I have the manager also in the output. So we have got manager as well. Now I can see for each manager how much sales was lost because of returns. All those analytics I can do. Also, the order in which you have to give is also not mandatory that first I should give P dot reason because the table is people here. I can even give O dot reason equal to P dot reason. It is absolutely fine. This also works. So this order doesn't matter. If you give P dot reason first or O dot reason first, it is absolutely fine. Both are same. Okay. And we don't have any limit. We can join 10, 15, how many tables together.
Okay, Ankit, in the second inner join, so for the first, the result of the first inner join will be inner join with the second table, is it?
Right,
Read it.
right. So this will happen first. You can just imagine as this. This join will happen. Whatever is the result of this. So two tables are joined together now. Now consider them as one table. Now this is the join with that table, which is coming after this. The join is happening in this order only. First this join, then whatever join you will get.
Okay, thanks.
I think Ankit, here is the scenario, right? I mean, the right join would come in use. Let's say I need all the records from the first table and the last table.
All the records from the first table and the last table.
Yeah. So it
So if
does
I do right
left
join.
no, if I do a left outer join with returns and then do a right outer join with the people.
Left join here and right join here.
Yeah. So I need like orders would do a left join with returns and then the return or that result would do a right join with people, which gives me everything from the people as well.
So ultimately you can put this people table on the from, right? Isn't it? Okay, let's try some data. We can discuss later. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's play with some data. Okay.
Sure.
That's fine. If there's any use case, we can discuss.
Yeah, I was just thinking.
Yeah. You can try it out and maybe we can discuss in the weekend out. We will have doubts classes this weekend. I will confirm
yeah.
Saturday or Sunday. Maybe we can discuss there. Okay. Okay, guys, let me know if any doubts in these kinds of join, all 5 kinds of join we talked about: inner join, left join, out join, full outer join, and cross join.
Only one question, like last question. So let's say we are doing left join first, and then we are using her inner join, second inner join. So in the condition, like, which table I have to refer in the inner join? Say, yeah. So here, like, I have done a left join between two tables, and now I want to inner join between another table, like a third table I have.
This one.
And, yeah, third table. It is a third table. So from which table I have to give the condition, that on condition?
You can give from any table.
Any
That's
table,
what I was telling. You can give from any table.
But the resultant would be the matching we have done. Like from the left table, there will be a resultant, and then we are joining from the resultant when we are giving the condition.
Right. And then inner join is happening. Right. So whatever is the result of this, just imagine. And then on that inner join will happen. So let's say there is some order, right? And there's no return for that. So what will be the return reason? Null. Or order ID will be null from R, right? So now if you are joining R dot order ID here, nothing will be joined because it is null already. For those null records, that will never be joined here.
Yep.
Right. So just always remember that it will be executed in same order. So whenever you are in confusion, just first imagine what will be the output of this, and then try to join with the third table inner join.
Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Otherwise, it will be very confusing that what is coming here, what is coming there. Always just go one by one and just imagine, or you can even see the output and then put the next join.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Ankit, so when we are creating a join with one table, a new table is created, right? With all the columns which we have mentioned.
Table is not created, but yeah, I mean, virtually it would have been joined, and you can imagine as a new table is created for your understanding.
Okay,
But
that can be imagined but not
internally,
considered
there
as
is
a
not
table.
such any. Yeah.
So in that case, like I was thinking of giving an alias to that new table, and then we can join with that table again, the third table, if
That
it's
can be
possible.
done. That can be done, but that will come to subquery.
Okay, okay. Got it.
Yeah, we'll discuss in subquery, but yeah, we can do that.
All right.
How many tables we can join like this?
There's no restriction as such. We can join as many as we want. Generally, not more than 8 or 10 I have seen, but there's no limitation.
Okay.
In real world also, you will not be joining more than 10 tables, to be honest.
Ankit,
Yeah.
just one doubt.
Yeah.
That you had given one example where we had columns which with different names on which we
Right.
joined, right?
Right.
Like that, is there like we were sure that the I mean, is there anything else we need to take care when deciding the column for the joining, like in terms of data type and other things? I was just confused regarding that.
Yeah. So obviously, if you try to join integer with date, that will fail, right? So two columns can be joined of the same data type. Otherwise, they will never be joined. What is the point of joining, right? If you join a integer with date column, that will never be joined.
Got it. Like that, is there anything else we need to take care? I just wanted to confirm.
No, nothing else as such. Yeah. Data type should be, so for example, if I give sales here, let's see what will happen. Converting data type varchar to float. So basically what it is doing is it is trying to convert this to float to make a join. So when you are joining, it will try to convert both the data types to same data type, both the columns to same data type internally, right? Converting data type varchar to float. So this is a float already. And what it is doing, it is trying to convert this order ID to float. But it is not able to do that because it is a string column. If it is a compatible data type, then it might have been able to do it database internally and would have joined the data. Right? So if I do on order date, order ID from here and order date from here, let's see. But in real world, you will not encounter these things. But yeah, you can always play with that. Again, a conversion failed when converting date or time from character string. Yeah.
Yeah,
So
I got the idea. Thanks. Yeah.
Okay, that is it for today, guys. I'll send the assignment. Yeah. Sorry.
Without knowing count of star and count of distinct star. Sir, I am confused, sir, how it works.
Count of star.
Give the output. Yes, sir. Count of star and count of distinct star.
So count of star will give you the outputs. Like,
yes, sir.
Let's do it. Count star from orders. This is giving you output, right? But distinct will not work here. In distinct, you have to give one single column. This wouldn't work. This is giving you error. So with if you want to do count of distinct something, you have to give something. One column name. You can even not give two column names. This will also not work. But if you want the count of distinct combination of order ID, order date, there is a way, but this is not the right way. Okay. This will work.
Sir, why
You
count
cannot
of
give more than
distinct
one.
started?
Sorry.
So why count of distinct star not give the count of unique combination of all the columns?
Yeah, so count function expects only one column. This function expects only one column, only one argument. So you cannot give more than that. But there are other ways of doing it, not part of, no, we have not discussed. We can do subquery, in fact. Let's say shift mode or count of anything. So you can just put it in a subquery. We will discuss later, but I'm just telling. Count star now you can do on top of it. Count one or count star, anything. So it will just first get the distinct value, and on top of that you can get the count. This works, right? Okay, let's not discuss it, but there are ways of doing it. You will ultimately learn everything by the end of the course. Okay, if there are any doubts in joins, do let me know, or go through all the joins, try few things. You can create your own tables. Again, I'm saying that gives you confidence. Any you are doing some banking transaction or anything you are doing on UPI, just create table, put some data and join them together, aggregate, play yourself. Okay. Okay, thank you guys. I'll send the assignment in some time. See you all tomorrow. Have a good day.
Thank you.
Thanks, Ankit.
Thank you.